to Fearless Friday, your day to reclaim your weekend and your life. This week, I'd like to share with you a few concepts that are not new to the self-help realm, but I feel that are very important to bring up at this point. One of the things that I've noticed in my clients, as well as in my friends and family members, as well as myself, is that we tend to overthink things. And when we overthink things, that creates a stalling out effect in our life. So today we're going to discuss this stalling out effect and how to hopefully avoid it. So one of the things that has been in the self-help community for a very, very long time is this loop per se of our thoughts really influence our feelings, which influence or create our actions, which then influence or create a certain outcome, okay? So those of us who are watching this know and are very much aware of the law of attraction. And we're very much aware of what we focus our attention on, those waves go out to the universe and bring that to us. Okay, so with that out in the open, which all of us know, and most of us, if not all of us, are currently going through transitions. Now, some transitions are more rapid than others. Some people are saying, well, no, I'm pretty good in my life. I've got a great job and I've got, this beautiful relationship and this and everything seems to be moving quite nicely. Well, knowing that we are in a universe where change is the only constant, sometimes transitions can be very, very slow, and other times transitions could be very fast, okay? Such as when someone goes to move, okay, so let's just say that someone, has a job in Hawaii and they're currently in Oregon, okay, so they need to move from Oregon to Hawaii. So that's a transition that they're going to be making, and so they make this prep work of, okay, this is what I need to do, and they plan the packing and the purchasing of the homes and all this other stuff, and then that transition seemingly is very rapid. Other transitions could take 10, 20, 15 years, whatever. So knowing that all of us are in transitions, that's another premise that I would like to have stated. So knowing that the law of attraction is in play, knowing that change is the only constant, knowing that we're all in transition, now I'd like for you to go and think about your thoughts, which is kind of redundant, but so allow yourself to think about how many thoughts we have a day. Okay, we have over 60,000 thoughts a day. Most of those thoughts are repeats from the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. Now, these thoughts can and do create synapses in our brain. Now, synapses are these little electrical impulses that create a response, well, actually, a reaction instead of a response, okay? So, think about a bare meadow, okay? So it's just a grassy meadow. And as a young child, you asked your parent, hey, so-and-so, what does this word mean? And it was a really derogatory word. Maybe your parent at the time smacked you across the face. So the strike of the hand on the face, boom, caused a reaction from you to feel sad and confused, okay? So picture the smack across the face like a truck starting up and then driving to the destination of sadness and confusion. Okay, fast forward about 15, 20 years, and you're on a date, and your date says something to you, and you say something back, and your date smacks you across the face. Instantly, you feel sad and confused. Your brain says, I remember this. Okay, so there's that truck again driving across that meadow to sadness and confusion. That creates a rut, or a synapses, or an electrical pathway from this physical reaction, or event to that emotional response. Well, actually, it's a reaction. And that reaction, it's like your brain taking over saying, oh, I got this. Okay, I remember this. And so you instantly react instead of responding. Okay, so fast forward 5 more years. You're hiking with friends. You're having a great time, you're laughing, you're cutting up, whatever, and you're not paying attention, and you're looking this way or looking that way, and then all of a sudden, as you look back, there is a branch that comes and smacks you across the face. instantly you feel sad and confused because your brain says, oh, I know this. Smack, sadness and confusion. Perfect. Okay. So all of a sudden now we're going, I feel really sad and confused, and maybe you even start crying and you have no idea why. That's because these electrical synapses in your brain says, I've got this, I know this reaction that is appropriate for this sensation on your face. Okay, well, over time, okay, as those synapses were created, over time, those synapses or synapsi can be disassembled, okay? And how it can be disassembled or broken and new pathways formed is by changing your thoughts, changing how you choose to respond to a certain situation. Now, because all of us are in constant flow, because all of us are in constant transitions, we have the power to choose how we think about certain things. We have the power to choose our thoughts and to choose the way that we respond to life instead of reacting to life. So if you wake up and you're thinking, oh, I'm so tired and I just can't deal with this anymore, this meaning whatever situation that you're going through, those are those thoughts that you thought the day before and the day before that and the day before that. But before this transition happened, you weren't in this lower vibrational state. You weren't in this woe is me state. You were in just the regular everyday humdrum state of, oh yeah, my life is great, whatever, yada yada. Just that very slow, placid, like transitional state where we think we're just kind of in equilibrium. We're like, yeah, nothing major, nothing minor, just kind of existing, whatever. And it's neither extreme of either, realm. So those thought patterns had to start somewhere. And that's exactly how they get started with, that same story about that truck driving on that meadow. Over time, there's a rut, or that brain synapses is going to form. So if you find yourself and notice yourself every day thinking those same thoughts that you don't particularly care for, like, oh, so-and-so's crabby, or she's a bitch, or he's an ass, or whatever, or oh, my life sucks, or oh, I never have enough finances. Okay, stop that way of thinking. Allow yourself to literally stop and say, okay, wait a minute. When did I first start to think this way that now it's become a reaction instead of a response? A reaction is something we don't even think about. It's just almost second nature. Well, it really is second nature because your brain says, I got this. So it's really like it's just going on autopilot. The reaction or the response is when you actually take that split second to say, wait a minute, how do I really feel about this situation? How do I want to feel about this situation? So the next time you get hit across the face, instead of reacting and being sad and confused, you can stop and say, is that appropriate for this time? The first time that I heard about this particular way of being, it was probably about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I was listening to a book, I actually read a book called Choice Theory, and it's by William Glasser, and then I also listened to a book by the Dalai Lama called Destructive Emotions, and both of those talked about and described choosing our thoughts and choosing our feelings. And at first, I thought it was a bunch of crap. I'm like, I don't believe that. But then the more that I thought about it, and also the more that I listened to that book by the Dalai Lama, I really saw that there was some merit in it. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna try this in my own life. And the more that I stopped, after something happened in my life, instead of going down that old pathway and looking at it or reacting to it in a certain way, I stopped and asked myself, how do I want to feel about this? How do I want to think about this? And that in turn caused me to respond instead of react from certain things. And we have such powerful brains, and we have such power in our thoughts or with our thoughts. And most of us really don't give ourselves enough credit for this. And, you know, being in transition, like myself, I'm in a divorce. Being in transition, it's really easy to get caught up in those reactions. It really, truly is. But the power and the empowerment that comes with knowing how much power you have with your thoughts comes in saying, the quality of my thoughts determine the quality of my life. So if I'm thinking all of these negative, random, energetically and you know, vibrationally low thoughts, how's the quality of my life going to be? Okay, so this week I challenge you to look at the quality of your thoughts. Now, yes, we have over 60,000 thoughts a day, okay, but it's what we choose to dwell on. It's what we choose to focus on. And this week I challenge you to just pay attention and notice what you're feeling. Last week I spoke about personal triggers, those things that just set you off. That's a reaction. That's part of the synapses going on. Choose to say, wait a minute, I'm going to pay attention and I'm going to choose to hold on to and gravitate more towards those thoughts that make me feel better than more towards the ones that make me feel kind of pissy. And that's one of those ways that we can help work with that emotional guidance scale and help to move up that scale. This was probably, I think several months ago, I spoke about using the emotional guidance scale. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to how your thoughts are making you feel. And allow yourself to pay attention to your life. And are you just reacting to what's going on, or are you choosing to respond to what's going on? Are you choosing to sit with that split second after an event happens, whether it's a phone call, an email, something you ate, whatever? Give yourself permission to sit for a moment after that event happens and say, how do I want to choose to respond to this? How do I want to choose to feel about this and think about this? And there are so many different ways and methods to help shift your thinking. For one is just recognizing, well, wait a minute, I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to think this way. Is this way appropriate in this situation? Or am I just choosing to take the easy way out and just do the reaction, which typically is a lower vibrational energy anyway? So really ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And you know, one of the things that is probably going to be kind of a long video, one of the things that I saw on Facebook one time is that it takes effort to be positive. And yes, it does. It does take effort to be positive, because you have to stop and ask yourself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to use the situation to my advantage? How do I want to see the situation for the best? How do I want how do I want to choose to live? And you can choose to live wrapped up in your thoughts, which can consume you, because we think, 60,000 thoughts a day, and some of those thoughts are not good, some of them are fabulous. So with the whole spectrum of thoughts, we can pick and choose which thoughts, and I actually have several friends who are like, oh, I just think myself to death, I think more than anybody else that I know. Well, actually all of us think the same. It's just some people choose to grasp on to certain thoughts, and some of us just choose to let them go. But the key is knowing how much power you have in choosing your thoughts, and those thoughts really determine the quality of your life and the outcome. Because knowing the law of attraction, knowing how much power you have with that law of attraction, you can choose to have a fearlessly inspired life. You can choose to say, wait a minute, I don't like this thought, so I'm going to try not to think about it. So then, like I said, being positive sometimes takes a little bit of work. Say, wait a minute, if I don't want to think about this, what do I want to think about? And this is one of those things that, like for my clients, I recommend that they start to create a list of positive, happy things that they can do when they're not feeling so hot. Maybe some songs that they really like. Maybe a couple videos that they watch on YouTube that just make them laugh their ass off. Maybe some comedy shows. Maybe the, podcasts that are like, 15 comedians all wrapped up into a 30-minute segment with the little bits and pieces. I challenge you this week to really pay attention to how your life really is. Are you choosing to, yes, sit and feel all of the emotions that you have, but choosing to grasp onto those ones that worry you the most, and those ones that really elicit that reaction instead of the response from you. And really ask yourself, get really clear. This is going way back to like the Anchors Away video. Really look at what's holding you back. Really look at how clear am I being with my life? How clear am I being with myself? What do I really want to get out of life? And is that in alignment with how you're living right now? If how you're living right now is in alignment with what you want, okay. But really allow yourself to get very clear in, okay, this is what I want in my life. These are my thoughts. Okay, so all these thoughts. Notice what you're reacting to instead of responding to, and choose to respond instead of react. Choose to say, wait a minute, I feel like shit today. Okay, why do I feel like shit? Okay, maybe I'm dehydrated. Okay, so instead of letting that ruin your whole day, stop and say, okay, I'm just gonna get a drink of water and then I'm gonna recheck in with myself. And you know, so many times we get caught up in all these to-do lists and all these things that we think other people want us to do. But the key is to really keep checking in with yourself moment to moment. Does this make me happy? Does this feel good? One of my friends actually wrote a blog post. The blog is on Raven's Wings. Fabulous woman named Vicky, brilliant woman. And I just read it this weekend. It said many people, when they're going through transitions, will either swim against the current, swim with the current, or basically flip over and float and just go with the current. And that's really what this is all about in essence, is how are you choosing to react or respond to your life, to these changes that are all around us? And is that in alignment with what you really want? Do you want to stay in this flow or this current? Okay, or do you want to get out and go into the next one over there, you know? But it's up to you to choose. And it is up to you to choose to react or respond. And I challenge you to challenge this theory. Challenge it, really. Read the book, Choice Theory by William Glasser, and The Destructive Emotions by the Dalai Lama. Fabulous, fabulous books. And challenge this theory. I did, and it's a fabulous thing to discover that it really is true. You can react to things, or you can choose to respond to things. And when you choose to respond to things, you'll notice your thought patterns will start to move to the realm that you really want them to be in, instead of the lower vibrational woe is me realm. You'll start to shift your way of thinking. The more clear you are with what you want in your life, and the more that you choose to keep checking in with yourself, and the more that you choose to see, am I reacting or responding, you'll start to shift your way of thinking, and you'll start to shift your thoughts. And shifting those thoughts will then shift the quality of your life, and the quality of your life will then shift the quality of your thoughts, and it's very cyclical. So yay, it's really exciting. So I've lectured for several hours on this, and I do apologize that it's so long, but obviously this is meant to be in this video today. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss one single Fearless Friday episode. Please also give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter. Then head on over to my website, florapeterson.com, and join in on the discussion below the video on my blog page, and let me know what your thoughts are about this video and this topic. And also, if you've challenged it, let me know what you think. Also, while you're at florapeterson.com, please sign up for your free gifts and tools that will be in your inbox every single week that will help you live a fearlessly inspired life. Until next week, bye-bye.